immediately find the quadrant 2 angle. So that's one answer. And then the second answer is going to be quadrant 2's version of that angle, which is always going to be 180 minus that. So if I take 180 and subtract 53.1, oops, try again, 180 minus 53.1 gives me 126.9. 126.9, that's the quadrant 2 version. Now, you could hold off to that to the end, or right now you can figure out whether that's going to work. This one's always going to work. So like you can put your 53.1, oops, wrong angle, 53.1 in here for B, and you can find C by subtracting them from 180, and then you're going to find little c, and it's just like last week. But real quick, I'm going to double check and see whether or not the second set will also work. So here's A, B, C. Here were the givens in blue, 30, 10, 16. And according to this, angle B could also be 126.9. So 126.9. So the question is that possible? 126.9, which it is. Because if you add these, that only gives you 156.9. Meaning that I can find an angle C and I can keep going. So this is going to be a valid problem. You're going to have to finish this one. So this one right now, I can finish here by just get rid of this real quick. Okay, so I'm going to finish the original problem. Don't get sidetracked with this guy yet. So over here at 180, subtract away this 30, subtract away this 53.1. That gives you 96.9. So that's your last angle. This angle right here, 96.9. And now you can just do the law of sines again to find little c, which I'll do down here. I'll say the sine of A over A equals the sine of big C, which is 96.9, over little c, cross multiply and solve. So I'm going to take a shortcut on that. Little c is going to equal to, this is going to go up here, it's going to go up here, 10 times the sine of 96.9, and then that divided back over. Go to my calculator, put all that in there, and that will be the end of this problem. 10, the sine of 96.9 divided by the sine of 30. What do we get there? 19.9. So 19.9 is a little c. Put that up in here. Real quick, check it again. It's worth your time to check. There's the biggest side. There's the biggest angle across from it. That's good. There's the smallest side. There's the smallest angle. That's good. So these look like pretty good answers. Now I got to finish this one. So, like I said, the other angle B worked, so I put it in there. Now this problem is totally independent of this, so you can just kind of block that out of sight. So let's find angle C. 180, if I take away the 30, and I take away the 126.9, that gives you 23.1 for angle C. And now we're just going to do the law of sines real quick and find little c, and you're going to be done. So that's going to be done exactly like this one down here was. I can say the sine of A30 over A10 equals the sine of angle C, which is 23.1 over little c. We're going to cross multiply again. That's going to come up here. That's going to go there. Then you're going to divide the sine of 30 away. So c would equal to 10, because that went up here, times the sine of 23.1 over the sine of 30. Go to your calculator. And let's see what we got here. 10 times the sine of 23.1 divided by the sine of 30 gives you 7.8. Put that up here, and you're now done the problem. So now again, I'm going to look real quick, make sure this makes sense. That's the biggest angle, obviously. That's the biggest side, so that looks good. That is the smallest angle, and that comes out to be the smallest side, so that looks good, and you have two different sets of solutions. I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to make you watch me do a no solution problem. I'm just going to show it to you because I think I have an example of a no solution problem. Let's see what we got here. just show you one real quick. Because that takes like 2 seconds, no solution. You'll know the no solutions one, guys, because you'll get an error when you go to do the problem. All right, last one. This one is going to be an example of where you get no solutions. And like I said, that'll be pretty easy for you to figure out because your calculator won't give you any answers when you do the law of sines. So here's what we got. We got angle A, B, and C again. Angle A is 30 degrees. Little a is 7. And little c is 16. So again, we have a law of sines problem. I'm going to set it up. The sine of angle A, 30, over little a, 7, equals the sine of angle C, which is what I don't know, over little c, 16. And we're going to cross multiply. This is going to be an angle, so you're going to have to do inverse. Zoom in a little bit because it won't need very much room. So I'm going to just multiply the 16 up here to get rid of it. So it's going to be 16 times the sine of 30 over 7 equals the sine of angle C. And then we're going to do inverse. Anytime you're finding an angle, it's an inverse problem. So this goes in front as the inverse. And then I can just go to my calculator. Angle C equals. So here's the calculator for this problem. Put this up a little bit. So I'm going to do the inverse sine, second sine, of 16 times the sine of 30 divided by 7. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a domain error because it's not possible. It's not possible to have a calculator to have these measurements of a triangle. Now, just like before, you can only get no solution if you're finding an angle as the very first step. If you find it later on as like the second step or third step, you did something wrong. But you can get an error, so this ends up being no solution. And these are your favorite problems because you're done. Like that problem's done. You can't solve it because it's not a possible calculator or triangle to have. All right, guys. I'm going to leave you some of these to try tonight for homework. Please make sure that you show me 2 solutions for the ones that have more than one solution. If you don't show it to me, that's essentially you just doing it exactly like last week, and you won't get credit. So this is what I want to see. This is the second example we did. I want to see your angle that you find, and then I want to see what the other possibility is, even if it doesn't work. If the second angle doesn't work, that's fine. Cross it out, continue the problem as it is, and it will be exactly like last week. But I want to see what you put down and what you build off the second half with. All right, sorry such a long video today, guys. Hope everybody's doing well, and shoot me any messages or, want to remind if you're having trouble, and I'll try my best to help you. All right, be safe. Talk to you soon.